But you've done everything that happened in your political career. I mean, President Wilson is how you ended up at Versailles and negotiating that agreement, which of course, as the regular viewers of Conversation Across Time will remember, we have discussed the fact that the treaty that you orchestrated, the Treaty of Versailles.
Hi, my name's Mark Hoffman. I'm a retired history teacher and a proud member of the Conversation Across Time family. Tonight's show features the title Masters of the Universe, and on the panel with host Vivian Crawford and co-host Babette Joseph are John Foster Dulles, Toussaint Louverture, and President Woodrow Wilson. They will discuss the role of the Masters of the Universe, or the elite class, and the common people, exploitation and colonialism, especially the exploitation of the Haitian people, and why the Masters of the Universe may get taken down or may survive. Please stay tuned for a provocative and entertaining show.
Conversations across time, 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 conversations across time.
Good evening and welcome to the third episode of a series that we are calling Masters of the Universe. Those of you that have tuned in last week or for the past 2 weeks, you know that we ended last week on a very high note. Back to finish this conversation is once again President Woodrow Wilson. Thank you, President Wilson.
Good to be back again.
General Toussaint Louverture.
Very glad to be back.
And Secretary John Foster Dulles.
Hello.
Seated to my left, of course, is my co-host Babette Josephs.
Trying to make trouble.
Trying to make trouble. And last week when we ended, I promised you if you came back this week, you would hear some very interesting facts and get some information that you may not be aware of. And since this show emanates from Philadelphia, we Philadelphians are familiar with the name, but not with the deed. And so with that, I am going to toss it back to you, General Louverture, and ask you, we talk about wealth, we talk about Haiti, and there was one gentleman whose name you brought up, and I would like you to explain to our audience, if you would, please.
With pleasure.
Yes.
We were saying that in 1812, there was a man in Philadelphia. He is from Philadelphia. At that time, he was one of the richest men in this country. And 1812, 1814, the English were coming back. And the American government needed to borrow money to fight the English. They borrowed $5 million from Stephen Girard. But where did Stephen Girard get this money from?
The $5 million that he loaned the United States government?
That money that he got from Haiti, from Toussaint Louverture's money.
Your money?
Exactly. And the saddest part is...
How did he get it?
After I was kidnapped by Colonel Leclerc, one of Napoleon's soldier. So I left that money for my country that was going to get the independence 2 years later, 1804. So Stephen Girard came to Haiti, basically stole that money because that was not his money. Came here, and after he lended that money to the American
Here
government.
Here
in Philadelphia.
Yes.
He opened a college.
Yes.
And the saddest part about that is, if you were not white of color, you could not be part of that college.
And
you
male.
could not be a student of that college.
Male. You had to be a boy.
Exactly. You have to be a male, cannot be female, cannot be black. And that
Or
was
brown.
our money.
General, I just want to say, just a footnote, if I can stop you for just one moment, because one of the things that, as part of my history and for the regular viewers of Conversations Across Time, you know about my history, and General Toussaint, you do not know this about me, but it is a source of pride to me that I and my sister, who is here working on crew tonight, we marched at Girard College. We were on the first picket line at Girard College under the leadership of a gentleman by the name of Cecil B. Moore.
Yes.
Because at that time, Girard College sat right in the middle, in North Philadelphia, in the middle of the African American community, and it was an insult that here was a school whose money came from the fact that Stephen Girard had this money to endow this school. Now, of course, the Girard estate owned lots of property. When we marched, it was 1965. And the Girard estate had lots of money, but the fact is, Stephen Girard had money to found this school as a philanthropist because he had stolen it from a black man and then said that this was a school for poor white orphans, boys. So I'm sorry, I just wanted to interrupt because part of my pride is to say that I was a part of that we were a part of that.
It's wonderful. And let's move on. After he finished with his college, obviously he started a bank. It was Girard Bank. Girard Bank became Mellon Bank.
Yes.
Mellon Bank became what we call now Citizen Bank.
Yes.
That's that same money.
All from your money.
Exactly. That's that same money.
All from your money.
Exactly.
Now, did you leave the money with Stephen Girard as a trust for him to hold for you?
Just to hold, not to.
You didn't give it to him.
No.
He was an agent. He was a merchant.
Exactly.
And you trusted him.
And that's the problem with me trusting some people. I trusted Napoleon, and he kidnapped me. And we have the same problem right now. When we're trying to work with some people that said that they are superior.
Masters of the universe.
Exactly.
Like two gentlemen that sit on either side of you.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. You cannot trust these people.
You still have to work with us, General.
Well, maybe.
Maybe, unfortunately.
General,
You
look
have
at
to
all
get
the
the
look
funding
at
somewhere.
what Stephen
No,
Girard.
it was his money. What are you
think
talking
we
about? He has
have
to
to
get the
get rid
funding
of them.
somewhere.
Yeah, but
We had the funding.
You had the funding.
but you wouldn't have been able to use the money because you
Wait.
weren't smart enough or shrewd enough as Mr. Girard was
Wait.
to expand the money. So it probably was better off in his hands anyway.
We were so
Oh,
smart.
my
Oh, I say it's
goodness,
all right
Lord.
to steal if you steal from somebody that
Of color,
that
of color.
that's inferior. So steal. Wait, 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal unless. Is that
Well,
your
the-
idea?
Unless-
Sullivan and
Miss
Cromwell, we
Josephs,
had to deal with people.
you know from your studies that I believe in social Darwinism, and
Yes, and that's
so
foolish.
if you are
And
not
if-
fit enough to protect your own wealth, then therefore you don't deserve to have the
You're
wealth.
not fit enough and you don't deserve it, to have it. And if this generation of left-wing Democratic women who are running for office all over the country have any clout at all, they will take you down.
That's why I said in the last
And you
show,
deserve it.
Well,
as
see-
president, I was opposed to women's
deserve it.
suffrage. I told you that
That's
in the
exactly
last
why you
show.
didn't want women to be in power.
And we'll see that they never do get in power because those, as you say, mess everything up, and we shall have to persuade the white male, undereducated people to stage a backlash and retake the country.
Listen,
Mr. Trump has been
there is-
excellent at
there is-
mobilizing such people.
Sure, he has.
There is a
agree.
hierarchy of ability and intelligence in this world. Social
And
Darwinism approved, and white males should be
So-
the
so let
masters
me
of the
tell you-
universe.
let me
and
tell
then,
you-
And then everybody else.
White males.
Everybody
should be
else
the masters.
falls into line and
It's
does
the
whatever
same
they
thing
say.
as-
Yeah, we
is it-
understand. We
There-
understand
there's
your
al-
idea.
There's
Do
always
you?
going to be masters.
And we don't like it.
There's always going to be masters and serfs.
Yeah, but I
Lords
wanna be the
and
master,
serfs,
not you.
And the people who become the lords are the smarter, the more intelligent.
Like
that-
me. So how do you account for Donald Trump?
Right. What a
I'm just,
good question.
I mean, since
What a good
you
question.
Well, he
guys,
might
you
not-
got it all, and
He
you
might
know it
not
all.
be smooth and he might not be smart, but he's certainly tough.
He's the
And he's
puppet.
single-minded and he's tough.
He's not
and that
single-minded.
helps him survive.
focused.
And a lot of people are not single-minded and are not tough,
He's not
and that's why
focused.
they fall by the wayside.
Well, let me say something about pro-choice Democratic women.
If you must.
I must, because they're going to take you over. People ever heard of Emily's List? Emily's List, it's only one organization. It's EMILY, early money is like yeast. They encourage pro-choice, mostly women, but all pro-choice Democratic candidates to run for office, federal, state, local. And they were very pleased in the last cycle of 2016. They had about 1,000 people running. Some of whom won, mostly they didn't, but lots of activity. They were very pleased about this. I want the audience to guess how many people have, mostly women, approached Emily's List in the 2018 cycle. We had about 1,000 in the last cycle. How many do you think we have this time?
Miss Joseph,
30,000 women,
Miss-
30,000.
Miss Joseph,
Only one organization.
The proof is in the pudding. You ran
Only one
You ran a
organization.
woman against Mr.
And
Trump.
she won.
She did not win, but
She
we
didn't
elected
become
president by the
president, but
Electoral
she
College,
won.
just how I was elected, and she didn't win. And if any Democratic male, and I was a Democrat myself, had run against Donald Trump, the Democratic male would have won. And
don't know that.
52% of white women voted against Hillary Clinton.
Yes, we know that.
So therefore, your woman's
But
movement.
white women are not the only women in the world, and white Christian women certainly are not. And
That-
Jewish
that's
and brown
certainly
and black
true,
women
but-
did not vote for him.
But I don't think that
Or Quakers.
you may have some more elected representatives in the House and in the Senate, but the men will still dominate and we will still control.
And you will dominate?
I predict
30,000.
that we're going to see less women in 10 or 20 years.
30,000 women running for
dominate.
office.
You will dominate because
Because we're masters of the universe.
because you're masters of the universe.
And we deserve it.
Plus, the way it has always worked, whoever is in office doesn't matter. The class I represent,
That's true.
the financial class, is the real masters of the universe.
true.
And Mr. Trump is very effective in distracting people
That's
about
true.
how.
That's true.
Look.
Can't
look at
argue
this. I
with
mean,
that.
You see how the public is so stupid that they vote for him because he is so entertaining and he talks so virile and tough. But in reality, it's a sham, but the same public, the same vox populi you glorify, you liberals glorify, they fall for it. And they'll continue to fall for it. And so
We'll see.
We didn't
We'll
even-
see.
we'll continue to stay
We
in
didn't
power.
even want women in the World Economic Council. We got
understand that.
criticized for that, so we put 3 women to moderate
Oh,
it and
big
made it
deal.
look good. But
You
but-
talking about at Davos in 2018?
Yes.
They put 3 women.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, no. What I find so consistent is Mr. Dulles' focus.
Yes.
So I have a question for you, gentlemen, and I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know that you know what the answer is. But it does occur to me, since Donald Trump is not a member of your class, Mr. Dulles, President Wilson, you've been very smooth. You've sort of danced around that. But Secretary Dulles has been very out with saying that Donald Trump is not a member of the Masters of the Universe class. So I just want to know, at what point do the Masters of the Universe get tired of Donald Trump? What else is it what other bidding do you want him to do before he's gone?
I believe he's been very effective for us. I mean, taking
Oh, and
people's mind.
we agree.
Excuse me.
We agree with you.
He's been very effective in taking
agree.
people's minds about the financial class that I represent,
Yes.
and entertaining them with these silly little, what do you call
Baubles.
them, tweets or whatever, about
Anything.
about nonsense. And yes, he is a pretty poor example of a Christian. But the way he talks about women, however, people enjoy that, and as long as he keeps the public entertained in that fashion, he is quite adequate for our purposes.
He's useful.
He gave us
He's useful.
Exactly.
he gave our class a great tax break.
Yes, he
We
did.
were all, and
Yes, he
in
did.
fact, I do believe when he went on one of his many golf retreats, that he said to some people that were having dinner, "I made you all richer," to some of the people from
Yes,
his
he
own
walked
class.
into the 21 Club.
And he did.
So
And he
as
did.
far as now,
And he made the rest of us poorer.
what
Thank you so
scares
much,
me,
Mr.
since
Trump.
he's not
We don't
part
care.
of the Masters of the Universe, he's not part of our class, he may rebel against us and go in another direction, or he may get us involved in a war. And I will refer you to Adolf Hitler in Germany, who also was not of the aristocratic or business class of Germany, and the German people thought they could use him.
Thought they
and-
could control him.
Right. So that's the only fear I have of your
I
President
think
Trump.
he was smarter than dumb Trump.
But
At least I hope that's the case.
But your point's well taken. That we know we did a show on that where we talked about it, and Countess Berthal, who was a German aristocrat, appeared and told us that the German aristocracy thought that Hitler was someone that they could control. So you're saying that it's very possible that Donald Trump may end up being similar to Hitler. Maybe the elite
No,
rulers.
he may rebel against
You
the
might,
Masters of the Universe,
you
and
might
then we'll,
find out you
we'll
can't
have to take
control
him
him.
out.
But
Ah.
I must state that,
You'll have-
yes, he may talk a big talk, as you say, about the class I represent. However, we don't care what you think. We honestly don't care.
But
if
what are you
hate
going
our
to do if
guts.
Donald Trump? What are you going to do to President Wilson's point? And I'm sure your
If he
class must have a plan.
rebels.
If Trump rebels as Hitler rebelled against German aristocracy,
what will you do?
What will you do?
How will you
That's-
stop him?
That's easy. He's not
Yeah.
going to rebel against us. He does our bidding. He makes us richer. That's
Well-
all we care about.
But if it gets to the point that he no longer does your bidding, he goes off, if he veers left,
Suppose he becomes completely
not-
crazy.
He is already completely crazy. No, I know he's not going to go completely left.
If he rebels against the Masters of the Universe, our class,
you'll take him out.
we'll take him out either by impeachment or assassination. So we'll take him out. He will not be there any longer.
Poison him.
Or my thought is that he'll die of some natural cause some mysterious disease that no one ever heard of, and all of a sudden he'll contract it. But that is the way that your class would deal with such a problem.
Well, yes, that's and
they always have.
well, we
Why
dealt
should
with
they
it
change now?
in Latin America. We fermented.
Why
We
change
got
now?
rid of people that started to do
Yes.
things against what
Or
our
you
religion-
tricked them. You tricked them like you tricked
Right.
like Napoleon tricked Toussaint.
Later on, they got rid of the indigenous and democratically elected president of Guatemala because of the fruit, and later on they got rid of the democratically elected premier in Iran because of the oil.
But
They were
but you-
if we
ruthless.
weren't masters of the universe and we weren't smarter and
Oh, well, I don't know about
stronger
smarter. Maybe you're treacherous.
and more fit, we wouldn't be able to do that to
No
all
morals
these people.
is what it is. No morals.
But in to your point, when you say that you'll take him out, the fact remains that Donald Trump, in terms of rebelling, seems to have aligned himself with interests, with Russian interests. I mean, I don't know that they play by the same handbook. I don't know that Putin, who was former KGB, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know that taking out Donald Trump may be as easy as one would think. I think that by the time he's doing Putin's bidding now, and am I to assume, are we to assume that what the actions that Donald Trump is taking with this whole involvement with Russia is all part of the Masters of the Universe plan?
Yeah,
because Putin was at Davos. I mean,
I'm not so sure.
The Russian oligarchs have the same interests we have.
Well,
That is
of course.
true.
You're the
I would
same
say
guy.
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think
say
that
so,
I
yes.
think that Trump was driven to Putin because the banks in New York, they knew him. He's a New Yorker. The banks of New York, or the banks of the Western world, would no longer deal with him.
but the
So
fact,
he was driven to Putin, and I think
but he
that's
got
how that
elected
happened.
president after his involvement with the Russian oligarchs.
But that's because we never saw his tax returns. We really don't know
The
what
battle's going to
involvement
be
is.
to keep him in line. I agree
Yes.
with that.
And
And
that's what
so
I'm saying.
far, because we have his son-in-law,
God knows.
we
and his
have
daughter.
his daughter. We got rid of some of the people who challenged the Masters of the Universe, like Mr. Steve Bannon.
Right.
So the Masters of the Universe, my heredity, know how to take care of people and know how to
Consolidated your power in the White House.
organize the administration. So Jared is one of us, even though he happens to be a Jew, which I'm not too fond of. And Ivanka, she converted. I don't know what got into her, but the bottom line is, we'll
All
see what
women
happens.
should do what their husbands
You'll see what
say.
happens. But so to be clear,
I don't like Catholics either, by the way.
well, and we
Well,
already know.
that's a big comfort.
General
I'm happy to
Toussaint
hear
and I
that.
already know how you feel about people of color. I
Exactly.
mean, that's been
Yeah,
very,
right.
that's been very. We're not confused, are
Probably
we, Jeff?
Catholic.
People like that usually have a personal problem. They have a problem with themselves.
Yes, I
People
agree.
like that, who don't like Jews, they don't like black people,
They
they don't
don't-
like
they don't-
Catholics,
Fortunately, I don't
They don't
do
like
anything
women.
like
they
Something
don't
that.
like women. That means
There's
they
something
don't,
wrong.
they don't like their mother,
Yes, yes,
Pardon
It means
me.
they don't like themselves.
they don't like
yes,
themselves.
yes, yes.
Or perhaps we
Something
believe that
deeper.
there has to be a
Yes.
certain order in society.
So
and I
long
have
as
been
you
brought
run
up
it,
in
it's the
such
right
order in
order. But
society
if I
and
ran
has
it, then
worked
what
very
would you
well
say?
For all these centuries, and there is no reason to change it now because some hysterical females just want to throw tantrums in the streets.
30,000 hysterical females.
But you say some hysterical females.
30,000.
But here's what is interesting about you guys, and that is you have to resort to the likes of a Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump is your puppet, and he is certainly only in place because he is furthering the interests of the masters of the universe. And
Of
that
course.
when he gets to the point that he no longer furthers the interests of the masters of the universe, as President Wilson has said, they will take him out. And but Russia will not be what the issue is, because as you said, the Russian oligarchs have the same interests as the masters of the universe.
Well,
so
they
that,
are. They're part
but
of it.
Trump doesn't belong to that
No.
class.
No.
And so what I'm asking is, what happens to the country while all of this proceeds? What happens to the rest of us? The tax break, we already know. You've saddled our children and our grandchildren and our grandchildren's
the people
children.
that
We
are,
don't know and we
what'll
don't
happen
care.
to people that are fit, our class will get richer and richer.
And
Some
the rest
other
of us
people
will get
who are
poorer
fit
and
will
poorer.
maybe get some money, and the rest of the people, the lazy Latinos who won't get as your
They won't get up
your
off their
national
asses?
security not your
Right,
national
the
the
dreamers.
White House chief of staff Mr. Kelly said we're too lazy to get off their
Yep,
asses to
yep.
register. They'll get what they deserve and live in poverty.
And may I say
No,
this,
they
because
won't.
we
They'll
are,
be put back to the countries they came, and they'll be killed.
because
Yes,
we are, believe
yes.
it or not, we are
We
at
don't
the end
care.
of this. We are at the end of this series, The Masters of the Universe, and I do hope that for our audience, that you have at least, that some part of you has been stirred by the very honest and earnest statements from President Wilson and Secretary Dulles. All we do is try to put information in front of you, because what is our motto? We're not trying to tell you what to think. We just want to make sure you are thinking. And as you can see, the masters of the universe, as they sit here today, they have let you know exactly how they feel about us and how they feel about you, because this is all about us. We don't represent that class. You viewers, you're not a part of the masters of the universe. You need to see how they think about us, and you need to see how someone like a Stephen Girard was able to steal money from General Louverture and found and became the basis of a fortune that is still thriving. The Girard estate still thrives today. So hopefully this has been some information that will lead you to go out and to vote and become politically active and run for committee person and run for an elected office. Just get out and do something, because they don't care about us. They don't care about us.
I agree with that.
Why should we? You don't amount to anything. You don't control anything. We will continue to control,
So,
no matter who
folks-
you put in and out of power.
Folks.
Or office or whatever.
Go to the polls and take them out.
Please don't. It's not
This-
worth
My
bothering.
my advice. My
Thank you very much,
cry.
Babette. This has been Conversations Across Time. Thank you so much. Remember to go to our website, and our web address is scrolling across the bottom of your screen as I speak. Thank you, President Wilson. Thank you, General Louverture. I do hope you will come back and join us again. You were thrilling, just the information that you gave us.
Yes.
Yes, I will.
Thank you
Good,
so
that
much.
was good.
And thank you, Secretary Dulles. As always, you do not disappoint. Your arrogance and your superiority just reeks. Babette,
I love him.
See you next week. Good night.
Conversations across time. 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 Conversations across time.